Good afternoon. Let's do it one more time. Good afternoon. So how many of you are feeling very cozy, like happily, something is going on? So let's do an exercise. Let's all first get up. Get up. If you're faculty, if you don't want to do it, that's okay. If you're students, get up. Move your hands up and down. Take yourself. Please. Yeah, let's do whatever will make you brisk, please do. And please sit down. Yeah. So people are getting too cozy about things. Okay, please sit down. Thank you for that. You can count that in my talk. I wanted to actually talk about two interesting things that we have been doing for some time. And I currently am wearing a IIIT Hyderabad t-shirt. When I got him, he said, "Oh, you're wearing a wrong t-shirt." I'm on my sabbatical at IIIT Hyderabad now. So I see Professor Vasu here. So let me talk about these two interesting research problems that we have been working on. So how many of you have done what I'm going to do right now? How many of you have taken selfies? Good. So how many of you know people dying because of taking selfies? Right, so good. So given that I have about 25-27 minutes, I'll keep the story short. So this is the problem that we have been studying for some time, and we think that it's actually a risk that people are getting into, not just the selfies. I'll actually talk about a couple of problems that people are, meaning the way that people are using social media is actually getting people into. All of us take selfies. We do these interesting things for taking selfies. The reasons could be posting it on social media, getting more likes, getting people to see that who you're with. I'm pretty sure none of you would have actually taken a pen and a paper to get an autograph with a celebrity in the last couple of years, at least when the smartphone became more popular, right? So we all do selfies. And interestingly, many of you know that people die because of taking selfies. And about 2016 summer is when we started looking at it. So we read a newspaper article saying somebody got killed because they were trying to take a selfie in Mumbai, hit by a railway station, hit by a train in the railway station. That was a story that actually got me into this project. So when I read the article and when I went to the students and said, let's look at, because I take a lot of selfies. Anybody's already connected with me on Facebook or Twitter knows about my course, yeah. So if you look at it, I take myself a lot of selfies and post it. And for example, this picture also will go at 9:30 tonight on Facebook, just in case, right? You can tag yourself in the pictures also if you want. But I got very intrigued by the point saying that, wow, I'm taking a lot of these selfies. People die because of taking selfies also. So we started digging into it, but we did not find a lot of, so to say, Nathan was talking about data sets, and we did not see a lot of information about this topic itself as so to say, a research project or as a problem to study itself, that people are dying because of taking selfies. That's where we got involved in when we started looking at this problem. So, which country is in the top of the selfie deaths? Any guess? India. So how, for people who said India, where did you get to know it? Where, how, anything? The point is, any reference to the selfie deaths across the world, right, is actually work done by my students. Any reference, you can look at any reference which is saying that, oh, India is at the top of the list, this is the reason for the death. Any selfie death happens now, right, that's why I keep telling my students, when selfie deaths happen, should we be happy that one data point is getting added to a data set, or should we be sad that this person actually passed away, right? So we have actually created a data set of all data, so to say, of all the deaths across the world with a lot of information annotated to it, and we made the data public and everything. You can look at the URL later. And when we started collecting data, I did not start the project or idea saying that India would be somewhere in the list. Right? So that's not the way we started. But interestingly, India is in the top of the list. India has actually. So who takes more selfies, male or female? Men or women? How many of you think it's men? Okay, how many of you think it's women? Who die more? Is it men or women? What? right? So actually, there's a lot of research going around the world. It's not just, meaning I'm more interested in the selfie deaths, but Stanford, MIT, I know some of my friends are also working on this topic of actually studying why people take selfies, right? What is it that the selfies made this the way it is? But the research shows that women take a lot of selfies, and I have data to show that men die. Right? So, and India also has interesting patterns that India is the only country in the world where multiple deaths have happened in the same latitude, longitude, not even 50 meters away. Okay? India is the only country where multiple deaths have happened because of one incident, which is, for example, a quick example would be a girl was trying to take a selfie, okay? She slipped into the water. It was lake behind her. She slipped into the water. 4 guys jumped to save her. I don't know why you guys are laughing. But the girl came out alive and the 4 boys died. Right? So there are multiple incidents like this, even though I'm putting it, or some of you are getting, sort of say, giving a smile and laugh at it. But I actually think that there's a lot of, sort of say, social computing problems to study in these kind of areas. And when you read about my PhD thesis and everything, there is this emphasis of picking up some societal problem and trying to dig into it. That's been my interest for some time. So these incidents happen, and so I set about mailing list, no data sets, everything. Then what we did was we said, okay, so now this is a problem to study. We started actually doing it, trying to attack the problem from multiple ways. One is, how many of you are on Instagram? Right? So we collected millions and millions of posts on Instagram because Insta is more popular for selfies. So we collected millions and millions of selfies from first pictures from Instagram, then analyzed it as selfie, then analyzed it as a dangerous selfie, and we did find out interesting patterns in which you can actually figure out whether it is dangerous selfie or not, which is the background of the image, number of people in the picture, the depth of the image, all of that. I'll actually show you some of this later. Right? If any of you are interested, you could go pick up the data from here. All the sort of say algorithms that we have built is also public here. So what are we doing? So even today, the system, the couple of systems that we have built is actually live. If I get some few minutes, I'll actually show you a live demo of some of the systems that we built. One is called Safety Chatbot, which is a location marker, which is on top of Facebook, where meaning when you travel to a place and you think that it's dangerous, you could actually mark that location as dangerous, right? How many of you use Google Maps? Right, it'll be nice, at least I see that, it'll be nice and interesting to actually annotate. It'll be nice and interesting to annotate this Google Maps with the information saying that, oh, you know what, the place that you're going now or driving by or going to be, or the destination that you asked for, actually has 2 deaths that have happened in the 2 years. Right? Or casualties have happened in this location in the last couple of years, right? So those kind of information is what I think will be very useful for people going to these places, right? And so one caveat in this work that I see is that we have been analyzing all the information that is written on publicly on news articles in English. So therefore, anything that is not being written in English, we don't know about it. There's a lot of deaths that happen which come out of the newspaper, but there are many, many incidences that happen because of selfie which don't lead to a death, which does not show up in a newspaper. That making sense? Two pieces of information that we don't collect, right? So this is only information that is available on English news media services about selfie deaths we collect. So this I already said, women take more selfies, men die more. So these are the reasons why people have been sort of say taking selfies in that. So the first one is heat, second one is water, third one is rain, and then electricity, animal, a car, and there's even deaths, couple of deaths, more than one death, which is like this. A gun, right? So other way around. A gun, okay, camera, trying to take selfie with the gun. Instead of triggering the camera, I trigger the gun and it dies. Right? So this is, so when we wrote this in the paper, so we actually wrote this in the report and we made it public, we got actually flagged for it, saying that, so we wrote one line saying that this is happening because of ABC reason in this only country. You can guess which country it would have been. And we got picked up for that, so then how can you actually say that this is happening because of, so to say, guns and all that, right? But it's interesting to see that the reasons why people are dying. Animal is another interesting reason. People trying to take a selfie with a lion, fall into the pit and then lion eats them away. Okay. So here is a safety chatbot. So I have three things to show demo. At the end, I'll actually show you, but this is how it works. So the safety chatbot is built on top of Facebook. The reason why we built the chatbot is it is convenient. All of you are on Facebook, so it's easy to actually get people to mark locations. Many of you have been doing this all with Google all the time, because when you use Google Maps to go to point A to point B, you've been actually giving them information. You could actually do that now for saving lives. That's the whole idea, right? So this is a safety chatbot. I said hello to the something to the safety chatbot, and say yes, please give me the information. I give the location. I mark the location as dangerous, and it'll actually say, tell me the reason why this location is dangerous. You can pick up water, height, vehicle, everything, and then it says thank you for reporting. And then it also has other information, like you can do a stat, and it will show you the number of deaths that has happened until now. Right? Everything is completely, so to say, automatic, except for this point that where we are actually manually looking at the articles that have been curated from this internet to say, or at least annotate the information saying what happened in this internet that the newspaper article is saying. And I'm sure you already thought about some of the problems here. We could actually, while doing this research, when we started collecting the data, we even stumbled on news articles which are fake talking about selfie deaths. Right? So then we had to actually curate, or then we had to come up with a way by which we could actually identify, we use Alexa ranking and things like that to figure out that the information that we're collecting is actually legit. So the entire thing that I showed as screens on Facebook is also available on Android. I mean, if you use Android phone, yeah, so you can just pick it up. If you search for SAFTIE on Google Play Store, this is the first thing you'll get. And if you search for, there are two things that come out of Android Play Store if you search for safety, SAFTIE. One is this, and the other one is safety camera, which I'll show you in another second. So you can do the same thing of marking locations with your Android phone, saying that this location is dangerous to people. And currently we have about, I think, 1,300 people using this safety app, and people are marking locations all around the world. And that's the 2,000 locations that we have. More now. 2,000 locations that we have. The difference between verified and locations is that if I mark this location as dangerous, just because Professor Ravi comes 3 days later to this location, I should not tell him that it's actually dangerous. I was just showing you a demo, or I was just trying to use the app and see what happens. So what's the difference that we made was at least N people should say that the same lat long without any difference in the lat long that it is actually. So we picked that, and then that's why the difference in verified is much lower than the location. So N people should say that. Then we can actually use that information to give it back to users who are going after that location. So this is the app that we built. This is the Android app using all this understanding of sort of say machine learning, all of that. And we have a couple of papers on analyzing the Insta pictures and everything. And then using all that, we built a solution which would just be like this, which when you're trying to take a selfie, it's actually going to say that, oh, you're standing actually on the 4th floor. Oh, I understand that there's a depth, there's height here, there's water behind. All of that you could actually figure out easily today with the computing on the phone, and we actually show that this is the location state. A couple of days I was actually giving a demo from the 7th floor of a building, and it actually worked pretty well. So this is just to compare when you're trying to take a selfie in a location state. If you're geekier, you could actually tab on to the dangerous and non-dangerous. It'll actually spit out everything, the features that we use, the numbers that we're getting for each of the features and everything. Show you the output of why we made the decision as dangerous, so you will also be able to get a sense of what. Okay, so those are the papers. Papers involved to actually talk about how we figured out that this is dangerous. This research got a little bit of attention like about a year back, and this is the minister himself talking about the research. So when he actually talks about be safe, take selfies carefully, or the helmet that you're wearing and things like that, he actually talks about research done at IIITD Delhi in the video. So how many of you know Asad Minaj? How many of you know Trevor Noah? Okay, how many of you know Kapil Sharma? Yeah, so stand-up comedian. So he actually did a very popular show called Patriot Act now, which is on Netflix. And I think about 4 weeks ago, I think probably about 4 weeks, he ended up actually talking about a research in his stand-up comedy show, talking about selfie death and talking about the work that we did at Society Delhi and mentioning the results. Okay, good. So let's see if I can play this. This is my you're able to understand what the video is? Yes? Yes or no? How many of you think it's yes? How many of you are thinking? Okay, good. So, right? Right. So this is a snap. That's a Snapchat. Again, this is a very popular. So I picked a video from Snapchat, which is publicly available snaps. These are posts that are done. So we have just moved on. The selfie is the largest one that we have done. So I use that as a basis to explain more risk communication problems that we are trying to study. So this is the post that was done on Snap at 4 a.m. Right? It's a Punjabi Gana piche. 4 a.m. Somewhere near Delhi, I think. And this guy has a glass. I don't know what's in the glass. Guesses about that. And he's riding a car. Right? So it's definitely one is to communicate the risk to himself, but there are other risk communications that he can do to him, saying that it's actually dangerous to people around you. So this is, and how many of you know the game Blue Whale? Very popular. Right? So that also we have been studying risks that are happening because people are trying to play the game, and there are curators who are actually trying to get the people to play the game and all of that. We have been working on trying to find out ways to actually look for people looking for the game, right? So that's the space that I'm excited now, where you can actually understand the social media behavior, where there are risks happening. Risk communication is a pretty old area. I know at least 70, 80 years of work, and probably more hundreds of years of work on it. But I at least understand the SIV, all of these issues, wearing the bell in the car. These are risk communication strategies and techniques that people have involved. But I'm looking at the problem of social media because that's my okay, good. So that's the okay, good. So so here's my. So how many of you are aware of elections that's going to happen in a couple of months? No, the shaking hands is only my habit of getting people to achieve wake up, right? So elections 2019, quite fine. So quite fine. This is Symposium, and we've been studying this whole topic of internet for private. I did a large study in 2014, studying how the social media has played a role in 2014 elections in India. So that's one of the students who did a master's thesis on it. Looking at what is happening in so to say elections, how social media political handlers are actually using this. So we started doing this now, again, 2019, about September, October last year, we started collecting data. So what are we collecting? We're collecting actually different sets of data, but here is some aspects of the data that we're collecting. So what did we do? We actually picked up, I think it's about 1220 or something like that right now, which are political handles, which are talking about elections. So either they could have a hashtag that they have posted, or they could have a bio which says they are connected to elections. Any of that, right? Any of that, we figure out that they're talking about they are connected to sort of the elections 2019. We pick that handle, and we go look up the people who they are following. Right? They are following, not the followers. These political handles are following. That's about 38,000. Just to get a sense of okay, what are the topics that we have. So we take snapshot of every handle that we have in a time period. I take a snapshot today, I take a snapshot 1 week ago. What does a snapshot mean? Snapshot means the number of followers, number of tweets, number of following, all of that. Right? That's the snapshot that we take. And the incremental followers also. We are also looking at so I'll show you some graphs which are actually super interesting. Exciting actually to see what happens with these followers in some time, right? Incremental followers, which is the follower which is today, and tomorrow what's the number of followers that I have, right? So that's the shortest span, which is 24 hours. Snapshot is about a week. So we already have a billion tweets. Elections. But we already have a billion tweets with us, which are relevant only to this data. Political handle. and we have about 700 GB of data. So just to give you a comparison of what the elections happened, entire data, which is post elections 2014, was only 20 million. I have the data, I made the data also public, if you have to receive it, people to take it. I put the links for all the data, everything on the side, right? So just to set the context, 2014 entire elections data was only 20 million. 3 months away from elections now, and we already have a billion, right? I think very good, interesting data that's coming up. Okay, so in November, Twitter has been doing this for the last year or two, which is deleting the handle. People know about it? Yes, Twitter. If you must have yourself lost some followers because of that. About a year back, or probably 9-10 months back, they deleted about 6 million handles of Twitter. November, which is when we started collecting the data, Twitter actually deleted 2.4 million handles. Okay? So when we started collecting the data about recently a month back, we said, oh, Twitter deleted so much of suspect users. Twitter calls them suspect users. They're not really fake or whatever. Suspect. They made some decisions that they are suspect. And we actually went and looked at the political handles that we're analyzing to see how much of fall does the political handle have. What is the intuition here? The intuition is if Twitter says that 2.4 million are suspect users, and if X of them are following the political handles, then maybe something interesting to take. That's all we're saying for now, right? We can keep it at that level. So here is a graph of one of the political handles. He lost 124,000 followers in one night. Okay? And the same way, that's why I put this graph. And the same way, if you see, he's also gained a lot of followers in short videos. Right? So the question is, right? So we saw this drop. Can all of you see this drop? Then, so that's when November 7th, I think, Twitter deleted 2.4 million accounts, and we had a drop of 124,000 followers for this Twitter handle. And I'm sure all of you have this question. Next question, when I say to anybody about this handle 124, next question is only the first and the fourth handle. Oh, what did happen to them? This is the elephant in the room, I guess, right? So he lost 100,000, and then I have the list of handles, how much they lose, and anything more than 10,000. So you can actually look at the numbers in that URL. That's another one that I find. So in 2014, there was only about 100 verified handles. Verified handles, why? Because meaning there are more reasons to believe the content that is coming from this verified account. So in 2019, already we have about 1,100 verified handles of the 38,000 that I mentioned. Right? Look at the space, right? Look at the magnitude of which it is changing. And the way it is looking right now is actually this. In the verified handles itself, different political parties, how they are represented on the right hand side of the party, individual. Just showing the influence of social media and getting this account verified also is becoming more important. Coming to the symposium more closely and even visually to show you web science. This is the network of all the verified accounts that we have collected. 1,100 verified accounts. The colors are actually of the same political handle. So there are about 4 or 5 major political handles groups that we are seeing in this cluster. The hope is that we'll analyze this data even more effectively as you can ask interesting questions, I'm sure, from yesterday. Whatever you pick up in terms of network science, you can throw that question mythology, betweenness, closeness, whatever you want to study, you could actually study this. What are we doing right now? So right now, I'm more excited about using this 2019 elections to study some interesting questions. One is the gender difference itself. Among the verified handles, what is the gender diversity of topics, gender diversity of frequency of posts and all of that. Gender diversity diversity in topics itself. In 2014, if I was a farmer and if I were to get my sort of say interest on the social media space, I have to get to a politician who probably has a verified account. There was only a small set of verified account. He may have other agenda in the political space and everything. But today I have my own, so to say, local MLA or district person who has a verified account. So I could quickly go to him. Therefore, I want to study the diversity of how the social media is given a space for even small players talk about their agenda, and of course other platforms that are available. Okay, so so with that I stop. I'll take another minute just to show you quickly the live demo itself. So that's if you want to remember anything, you can just look at this URL bit.ly/election19. Election19 will give you all the things of the data that we have been collecting and the analysis that we have been. So let me just break this. Quickly show you. So this is how the live systems are. All of the systems that I showed you. So that's the safety chatbot. I had actually set it up. So if you see here, that's the safety chatbot that I said, which is actually talking to the server now and potentially picking up the location from here, and you could actually share the information of this location being able. So that somehow we can do it. And then the other one is this is the dashboard that we have for elections. Complete elections. You could actually search for all the political handles that we have, of the handles that we're collecting. You could go to the handle, look at their account, zoom into the data, right? Whatever patterns that they have, you could actually look at it. You could also look at the, so this is the real, so to say, analysis of all the account comparisons. So I could actually pick up all the handles that we're collecting. As you see, for the ones that we saw interesting patterns of increase and drop. So you could look at this data and analyze. And I've also put all the handles that we're collecting data. So the goal is to actually put all of this data public for how many of your students? PhD students? Masters? Undergrad? Right? So the first students, I think this is like that's a rich sort of data, right? Particularly if you're interested in this network, particularly data science, that this kind of data can be very helpful. So we made the handles that we're collecting also complex. Okay, with that I'll stop and I'll take my time.